Hey, it's Deanna, and I've got Dennis here on today's episode of He Said, She Said.
We need a better
Today,
intro. Not not
huh?
not that you didn't do a good job, but like I'm telling you, we need a jingle. We need a do do
We,
do 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 do
all
do
right, we
do,
can get a
and
jingle.
it's he said, and then we
She
go.
said, I know you said that last time, and we have to work on
It
it.
never gets old, Deanna, with me. Like
Hey,
I'm
I'm
like a
all about that. I'm good
I'm
with
like a dog on a bone. Like when I get like one laugh, I just keep letting the hits keep on flowing.
that.
What's going on, man? We got our first real snowstorm of 2021, and I feel like with a couple years, like it's been not, and it was pretty good. We had a snow day,
Yeah.
and I took Monday. It's really weird blowing off work days like right now because I've said this between time off and it's like you're working from home and it's just not like work.
Yeah.
That's so I took the kids sled riding.
Fun.
You know what's interesting?
What?
So so this probably gets me banned from the sledding hill, but I'm going to go there anyway.
Go ahead.
So I noticed that like the Schiraldis went and found their own part of the hill to go sled riding away from the rest of the masses of people, not because of COVID, but because
You're Schiraldi's.
exactly we need our own hill, our own
You want
exclusive
your own
hill,
hill.
our own exclusive adventurous hill that
Mhm.
nobody else wanted to go down. And so when we went back to the masses of people, this is probably why we avoid them. And maybe it's my perception of being an older parent with young kids and maybe a lot of first rodeos. I don't know. But like there's kids sled riding down the hill. And
Okay.
I'm waiting now. We're leaving. So I'm waiting for my kids to come down the hill. And I'm trying to be as patient as I can because we've had a fun day. But
Yeah.
I'm like, so I'm watching the other parents, and the kids are sled riding down the hill, and they're like clapping, and they're going, "Oh, you did so good! You did so good!" And the cameras are out, and I'm
Yeah.
thinking to myself, there's a reason why we have the self entitlement
Mm,
that we do with. I don't even know what generations they are, and the reason that we do is because these kids have all been the star of their show since we've had smartphones in our pockets since 2006.
so
So
true.
when the world's revolving around them and capturing and documenting every step along the way, and somebody acts like that, don't be surprised.
Yeah.
The second funny thing is, I think you grew up in kind of an old school household, is that I cannot imagine my dad being at the ski hill with us and sitting there clapping at the bottom going, "Hey, you did such a good job sledding down the hill, Danny. You did such a good job."
No. No.
I mean, it's sledding,
I
right?
can't
It's not
imagine
like,
that either. Or my mom. No.
and I'm down at the hill now.
They would be over somewhere having hot chocolate and a and a glass of wine.
Yeah.
Saying, when you're done, come on back and find us, right?
So
It's okay that you're 4.
and at this point, I'm kind of annoyed that my kids are now kind of taking their good old time with their last run of the day, and so let me silence this and share this. So so then I'm like uh, I'm I'm like getting impatient. And I'm like, we got to go. Like they said, they're hungry. There was a little bit of fighting prior to that, and now they're taking their time. And my kids were letting all the other kids go, which is a good trait to have. But I'm like, start gritting my teeth, and I'm like trying to be like, oh, this was a fun family outing. But I don't want to go off on my kids. But I'm like, Teal, get in the lineup. Let's go. Right. And I'm yelling from the bottom of the hill when everybody else is like, hey, good job. He's down the hill.
Oh my gosh. I wasn't that mom. I don't know if I did damage to my kids. I was definitely not that mom though. Um, well, I'm not a fan of the snow, but in general, I guess maybe at their baseball games I was. I was that mom cheering them on, but not for sledding down a hill. No. Well, whatever. I mean,
So
that's
I don't know if that's much of a said, she said moment, but that's what I've been doing the past couple of days. And then obviously we've got our little ditty. Somebody gave me some feedback. They said that like they're really enjoying these he said, she says. So it was very encouraging to keep going.
Yes, I've heard that too. I've heard that too. I'm sorry, I apologize. I have to check my phone. As I told you, I've got AT&T coming here, so I think they're going to call when they're like 15 out.
Sometimes between now and
11 and 1. So yeah, of course. But I've gotten the same feedback too. People have said they've enjoyed it, and I think because it's lighthearted, and I think because it is a friendly debate. It's just two different sides of whatever we're talking about. Sometimes we agree, sometimes we don't. But it's a way for it's just light. It's not heavy stuff at all. It's just, what's your opinion? What do you think? And it's a nice break in the week, to be honest with you. At least for me, it is.
I had Vanessa on Cabrera, who's a mutual friend of ours, and on my podcast last week. She'll be presenting this Friday and on the virtual sessions, and she was actually talking about seeing our he said, she said. And it's so funny because like we were in a conversation about content, and like she's asking me a couple questions about my approach, and she's like, I do the exact opposite. And I tell people to do the exact opposite. I was like, guest appearance.
Yeah. Oh, I love Vanessa.
That's all I need is you both ganging up on me.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe, I don't know whose side
it would totally be a total female bashing guy moment. Let's beat Dennis up into the ground.
Here we go again, right? Always calling me like the woman hater club president or men haters club president.
I am all inclusive on all of my content and groups. And this is actually not what we're supposed to be talking about. We're supposed to be talking about Super Bowl ads. But I am ultra inclusive. If you go and look at the Duo Live speaker lineup, and have been for the past 5 years, my major contributors, 70 to 80% of them are all either female or obviously diversity is well represented. Mm-hmm. I don't do the you're getting mad at me. You're getting ready to lay me out. I can tell. I don't do maybe it's because it has been that club for so long, but I don't do the man group. Maybe I should do a man group. Can I get away with a man group?
Of course you can get away with a man group. I say go for it. I mean, yes. Do I cater? Is my target audience women entrepreneurs? Absolutely.
And I mean this in a lighthearted, fun way.
No, I know you.
Okay, I'm not taking away from that. I think what you do is fantastic.
Well, thank you. I know we go back and forth, and I know that you're like half joking, and you're jealous because you want your man's group, and I get that, and I say just create your man's group. There's nothing wrong with that.
Well, we are.
Oh, good.
We are.
Good. I think you should.
So. By the way, it's a great time to be a middle-aged white male in America. We've had our run; it's over. Right? So if that's not controversial enough for anybody, welcome to He Said, She Said. Right? And I said it. Right?
Topic of the Super Bowl before you really like.
Yeah, let's get people interested and all riled up. We are starting a podcast called The Garage. Politically incorrect stories from the man cave.
Oh, you know what? I saw that on Instagram.
It's been a 6-month, 7-month project. And what the problem is right now, I'm waiting on my brother-in-law who's built the Garage Mahal. I mean, these are men. These are manly men. So I don't really know what purpose I serve because they all know how to fix cars, hunt. Like they all
market it. You just sit there, be quiet, and market the podcast.
They all make fun of me for like an hour on, they'll all make fun of me and it'll be fun. And the process started last summer when the Garage Mahal was going up, and I was like, hey, my sister's like, we got to pay for this. I was like,
oh wait, is that me?
We got a guest caller.
I was like, I accidentally hit my lap, my thing. I thought I did that.
We got a guest caller. That's our buzz line. Anyway, My sister's like, we got to pay for this garage. I was like, well, let's do a podcast. And then eventually like somebody will probably send us like beer or something to sponsor it. So it'll be, the core group is really made up of a group of guys that are family. And we just sit around a lot of Saturdays, probably like a lot of families do. We get together. Everybody has their favorite beverage in their hand. And then we start arguing.
Sounds like a typical Italian family.
So we said, why don't we just, who's comfortable with putting this on camera? And so when the Garage Mahal is becoming complete and it's on its way, we're gonna start recording some content.
Awesome.
So
I look forward to it.
The Man Club.
Yes, I love it. And you should.
All right.
You definitely should.
So let's talk about Super Bowls. And I don't know that there's obviously much of a debate that is going to be had over Super Bowl advertising, but just to kind of set the tone here. So an ad costs for 30 seconds, $5.5 million. That's a lot of cheddar. And the other thing is that omits the creative. That's not counting creative. That's the placement. That's your inventory from CBS during the Super Bowl. So you're going to have to get a high-end agency filmmaker, whatever, to do your film. This is the big time, so there might be some celebrities. So now you're looking at appearance fees. So who knows? That ad could cost you anywhere between $7 to $10 million, and that's just running it one time. There's 100 million people that actually view the Super Bowl, and they say that 80% of Super Bowl ads do not convert, which means that 20 million do. Right?
Right. Technically, yeah.
So, I mean, you and I'm guessing you don't have $5 to $8 million just laying around.
No.
But if you had a $50 million or $100 million marketing budget, would you find value in advertising during the Super Bowl?
Maybe it would depend. I mean, if that was my entire budget, probably not. If that was just a small piece of it and I knew that my target audience would be sitting in front of the TV watching the Super Bowl. And let's be real. I mean, the Super Bowl, I like football, so I do watch the Super Bowl, but the commercials have their own audience. Like, so it's not like just people who enjoy football watching the Super Bowl. People are tuning in to see what the commercials are like too. But if it made sense, I would.
I think that the audience obviously is there because of the fact that you have 100 million people at one time converging on this big event. And now what we've seen for the past probably 5, if not 7 years, is that obviously companies have gotten more savvy with the pre-marketing of releasing commercials early so they can see the engagement, really maximize and stretch out not just the ad, right? They're doing all these things that make it a campaign now because of the digital side. So I think that you can kind of make the debate that within that 100 million, you're going to find somebody that's within that audience, whether it's 1 million, 5 million. You know, hopefully your target audience is 100 million people, but the reality is you're probably going to have a couple million people that relate to something that you're saying somewhere in that audience of 100 million. That's probably the bet.
Yeah. I agree with that. You've got a good chance.
Right. I mean, the odds obviously increase. So now, number of brands, Budweiser, Pepsi. Pepsi's all in at the halftime show, by the way. So they're still going to be involved. But Budweiser, Pepsi, Coke have all pulled.
And Hyundai too, right?
Yeah, Super Bowl. I can't say that word. Everybody will laugh at me. Hyundai. So they have long time, like Coke, obviously, right? Greatest Super Bowl commercial of all time, arguably, is Mean Joe Green.
Kid, that's your favorite?
Comes down the tunnel, throws the kid his jersey. It I think is the propeller for what Super Bowl ads now have become. And if you look at the most memorable ads of all time in the Super Bowl, that still ranks up there for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
So Coke, long-standing history, they're going to pull their ad dollars. Budweiser, actually, I like their spin the best. So the other people are pulling their ads because obviously, their budgets are limited. Some of them say they're going back into COVID resources. Budweiser says they're pulling their advertising budget for the Super Bowl. So later this year, when bars and restaurants are open, they can invest that money back into the reopening to support those businesses. Now, I don't know, they don't quite fully articulate or describe that, but I think that that's a really awesome reason if they execute and come through on that.
Right. I think what we're seeing this year is that a lot of the standing big name brands, I mean, they're pulling their ad, right? But instead of putting the money into their pocket, they are now putting it towards causes and putting it towards the I don't want to say community, but making everybody better. And I think it's almost, I just wonder if this is if this is something that will continue, right? That it's not about putting all that additional profit in their money, but it's about giving, or in their own pockets, but it's about giving back now. Because Pepsi is putting it towards COVID vaccinations and education and bringing up more awareness to it because it's a world event. It's impacting everybody. It doesn't matter where you are in the whole world. And it made us all stop, and it's made us kind of stand still for a while. So they're putting it back. And what do you think? Do you think that this is something we're going to see, or I don't know, will COVID, is there an end to this COVID where things will go back to normal? I guess that's the first. Let's assume that things do go back to normal. And let's just assume that 2022 is just like 2018. Do you think that they're going to hop back in and advertise, or do you think that they're still going to do some social good?
That's a tough question that I don't necessarily know the answer to, or have I thought about it. But I think that it's analogous to this. So back when I was in the medical imaging industry and the pharmaceutical industry kind of ran parallel, but was a little bit more regulated, there was a point in time where the pharmaceutical industries and Sunshine Act laws of which you can give to physicians really started to kick into place, especially for the big pharma companies that were under a lot of scrutiny, and the industry was kind of getting out of control of what they were doing and giving to physicians. So what they basically decided to do, it felt like to me that on the surface it was good, like we're going to cut giving things to physicians outside of educational materials, right? It was like, so we want to make sure that we're upstanding and right and good, but on the underbelly was like, I think I saw right through, and it's just like, well, really, we're going to save on a ton of dough. We're going to hide behind this Sunshine Act. We're going to spin it the right way. So when you start to talk about these businesses that are pulling their ad dollars, it feels like to me that they're more saving on the spend than they are doing back to the good. And why I say that is that if you look at like what Barstool Sports did, where Dave Portnoy raises over, I don't even know what its last count, it was like $30-40 million that they raised and started to give out to small businesses as a relief fund. That feels more real. And I think the proof will be in the pudding as to when Budweiser comes back in later in the year and says, well, we pulled our Super Bowl advertising, here's how we spent the money.
Yeah.
You pull your ad dollars, that's one thing. You want to pull your ad dollars because COVID's the reason, then I think you have to be transparent with that. Like, so you pulled it. Was it a budget thing because of COVID? And I can understand that. We've had our own 70% hit in 2020 into 2022. So we're like figuring it out as well. But like, if you're not transparent, say, well, we took $5 million that we were going to spend on that Super Bowl ad and we put it into people getting vaccinated, an ad campaign, and getting a PSA for vaccinations in underserved neighborhoods, and you don't show that, then I have to question, like, how did you really spend the money?
Interesting. You bring up a good point, because Coke, Pepsi, Budweiser, right? Restaurants being closed, sales being down. I don't know I haven't researched to say that if Pepsi or Budweiser, where they are, I did read something on Coke and that they were down like 13 or 14% just in the first 9 months of 2020. And then they continue to have a huge percentage down in sales due to the restaurants that are closing. And that absolutely can be a reason that they're pulling, and not just that they want to do this social good. And we won't, how will we really know? We really won't know what the real reason is, because they can mask it any way that they'd like.
I mean, Barstool raises over $30 million, and you think that like Pepsi or, most of the businesses that they gave money to were retail and restaurants. So at that point, you think that like Pepsi or Coke would jump in on saying like, oh, wow, we really recognize like this fund, and maybe it would be worth it for them to do something similar where it's a $5 million ad with some creative from their ad agency. And they partner up with Barstool Sports to say like, we're contributing to the fund, a dollar for dollar match, during the Super Bowl with this, or something like that.
Yeah.
Where that $5 million investment return gets an ROI back to the small business community. That's really significant. And so I don't know, like typically, like, and I think it's all relative too. Like, so I could go back to my GE days, like we had a $500,000 marketing budget. If I screwed up on like a $10,000 social media campaign, at the end of the day, it was like, darn it, that didn't work. Right. I mean, reality, right?
Yeah.
But prior to that, I was in a small business where like we had $1,000 for social media advertising. And if it didn't work, it wasn't like, oh, darn, that didn't work. It's like, oh, shit, we may have to close the doors.
Yeah.
So it's a very relative thing for Coke to say, well, we're broke. We can't really, we're going to put the money elsewhere. I think you just got to follow through on your statement and show where that money ended up going. And by the way, we got some people on. If you got a comment, question, we'll take it. I don't know if we're able to do that or not, but
yeah, I don't know. I think from how it usually has been is that you'd have to comment on my Facebook page. Oh, we have a comment here. Oh, that's you. But yeah, I don't know if you've got your LinkedIn or hooked up. This is also on YouTube right now on my YouTube channel live. So
the other thing is that the brands that are going in, and a lot of them are the first timers on social or on the ads, make sense. You'll see a lot of activity from DoorDash.
Yeah. Aren't they giving like $1 back for something in that commercial?
I don't know. You asked me what topics, like we threw around a couple of topics coming on. And I think the Super Bowl is obviously very relevant. In the past, I've like been asked to go and review Super Bowl ads. I'm like, I'm glad I don't have to do that anymore, because I used to have to work on Super Bowl Sunday and then go and review ads and like.
Well, they share them ahead of time now.
And then I'm like, I could just do it on my Facebook Live. Like, why would I have to go to like a news station at 4:30 in the morning and do it then? But I don't know what DoorDash is pulling together for it, but like DoorDash makes a lot of sense. Like that's been an exploding business over, since last March. TikTok will run their first, TikTok will run their first ad. Indeed. You're going to see a lot of first-time advertisers that are jumping in to replace. You'll have M&M's, Pringles, Toyota. They're all going to be back. Oh, here's the other one. Fiverr.
Sorry, but really quick, I have not been entirely impressed with Super Bowl ads for the last couple years. Like, okay, there's one or two, but they used to just wow you. They used to be funny. And like every commercial was like, that was a good one. That was a good one. And like the last few years, they've been duds. So I'm really stoked to see what these other companies will bring to the table.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know, because they obviously have the budget to bring on great people, but they suck. They haven't been great. I mean, so I don't really know why it is. I'm really hoping that these other businesses that are going to be on during the Super Bowl, which are still big business. I mean, DoorDash, Indeed, Cheetos, Mountain Dew, which is those two are part of Pepsi. What is it? Chipotle is on there. I'm hoping they're big businesses, but I hope that they bring some creativity that just good one. Now I did see
Robinhood's going to advertise.
who?
Robinhood, the online trading platform that is
Oh,
come under
really?
complete scrutiny over the past week, right?
I'm looking forward to that one.
Now, I think I saw the tone, and it looks like they're trying to build sincerity into it, but I think that that's the absolute wrong play. I think that they should go because the CEO has been on like the news circuit and trying to clean it up, and I think that they should just go and make fun of themselves. I think that would be a brilliant approach at this point.
Yeah.
And if they
I
just
think
made,
we need to laugh too.
huh?
I think as like United States, all of us, right? I think we need to laugh a little bit because we're
Yeah,
isolated, and I have a feeling, and I've only saw a couple of these ads on YouTube, and they're somber, right? Because they're like, what approach do we take? It's COVID. We don't want it to be too happy, but I think we need to laugh. I mean, I'm not saying
did you see Kevin Hart's last comedy special?
no.
It's on Netflix. So
Okay.
basically, he has a comedy special, and it's in his basement of his house, which is like amazing. And everybody's socially spaced. And he's like, he did an hour-long Netflix special from his basement, and it's amazing. And
Really?
he starts doing COVID material, and he's like, I had the vid like early on,
Yeah.
and he talks about all the things, like. And he did it in, obviously, Kevin Hart's an incredibly like once in a generational lifetime talent. So like he had the ability to be able to do that. But he also talks about cancel culture, how they're all coming for him as well. So it was really funny how he made fun of them. And it's also really funny how he talked about COVID and took out, like understands the severity of it, but at the same note was able to like make you laugh, like.
Oh, hang on. Hold on. You keep talking.
But the other first time advertisers that will also be there, Fiverr, which if you don't know what Fiverr is, it's an online freelance marketplace. And in the current gig economy being, people that make websites or manage social media or, have multiple clients, not a business, it's not a job, it's a gig economy. It's like, so you've got a bunch of people that can do various tasks. And how you market yourself in the gig economy, people would argue that I'm part of that gig economy. How you market yourself and how you get business, is oftentimes left up to you. So Fiverr was basically created as a platform that you can list your services, and then it provides also at scale a place where people are looking for services. So interesting that Fiverr is at the ability now to have that in this climate. And the other is Vroom, an online car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
noticed that a lot of the stuff, at least that I saw right now, was more towards online. In fact, Squarespace, their commercial, they're doing a 5 to 9 instead of what they're doing with Dolly Parton's 9 to 5 song, but they're talking about the entrepreneur life. And I think that's super cool. And then Uber Eats is doing a Wayne's World commercial, and it's talking about eat local.
yeah,
So that's the stuff I'm excited to see that stuff, right? Because of course that's Uber Eats business, right? But it's about the entrepreneur. It's about everything that this COVID has done, but they're making a positive twist over it instead of just a very, I don't know. And I know like the ones that pull at your heartstrings are going to be like, oh, I love that commercial. It's unity. It's cool. We're all coming together. But I just want to laugh. I want to cheer. I want to be like, yeah, like you go to the entrepreneur. and
right.
I want it to be fun again. My favorite Super Bowl commercial is the one from Doritos. Now, and I don't know if it's all as nearly as memorable as the one that you mentioned, but there was a little boy, right? And he took the Dorito. Some mom was on it going on a date. So the guy comes to the house and sits on the couch while she finishes to get ready. And the little boy walks up because he takes the Dorito and he smacks him and goes, "Don't touch my Dorito," or "Don't touch my mama and don't touch my Dorito," or something like that. And I loved it because my Alex was like that little boy. Like,
Super protective of his
he
mom.
was like that little boy, like, you can go now, right? So, but that's my favorite because I totally related to it. And it's funny. And every time I see it, I still crack up laughing. And I'm hoping that's what this year's commercials bring, with this new group of businesses that are coming in.
We will see. I'm not going to spoil the moment.
I do.
I know.
I'm sorry. I was just like, let me tell you how it ends.
I want to, but like maybe that takes away from, like, because when you see it, you're like, I already saw this ad. So like, maybe the disappointment factor is that you've already seen the majority of the ads, and then this way you're just like, I don't know. Like,
well, no, because I never really watched them earlier before. I wanted to see them in the moment. This time I did because we were talking about it. So I looked up a couple of them. I don't know everybody who's advertising, but I pulled a couple up just to get a sneak peek. And the ones that I did pull up, I was pleasantly surprised, not because they were great, but because they talked about, like the 5 to 9, right? They talked about how many people are working their 9 to 5 job and then doing a side hustle because COVID, right? They either lost their job and now they found something else, or their business is temporarily closed. So, and I'm working with a lot of those people.
how old is Dolly Parton?
I don't know. Are you Googling it? She's old, but she looks amazing.
No, because when we were kids, I feel like she was old when we were kids.
She
right?
was. She was.
She's actually born in 1946. That puts her around 74?
Yeah, it sounds about right. Sounds about right. But no,
Yeah.
I'm curious to see it. I do have AT&T coming out pretty soon. That was their warning call.
All right, so let's leave with this thought, and I don't think that this podcast is set up to give much advice. How can local businesses capitalize off of Super Bowl advertising? Like, if you're a restaurant right now hearing us talk about Uber Eats and DoorDash and they're doing your job, like, you better be like ready to like be on the platform, right? Get found like come the weekend. Even if you don't do it long term.
True, but I think I would like to think that a lot of the restaurants are doing that anyhow. I don't know, maybe I'm being naive in my thinking, but I'm thinking a lot of those restaurants are doing that currently. I will say that, and I kind of talked about this before on my podcast with a different guest, and this is geared towards restaurants, but, make sure like your social media, your website, it's updated, it's on point. Your social media, if you are a business like a restaurant, like if you deliver, whether it's DoorDash or Uber Eats, or you have your own delivery, let people know what they can do. Let your menu be visible, because if they don't see your menu, they're going to hop to the next restaurant. And I know we do that out here because we're not as familiar with local restaurants as, if I was in Youngstown, I would know exactly where I wanted to go and what's on their menu, and it'd be easy. But, just make sure that everything is ready to go for the Super Bowl and that you are ready to go, and use those hashtags on Insta to get that out, and your location, let people know where you are. I'm trying to think of other things.
This right here,
us just live
sheerly talking about advertising, right? Facebook ads. I'm not Facebook ads, Super Bowl ads. You could do doesn't matter what industry you're in. You could right now run a Facebook poll to a poll on your website about, what was your favorite Super Bowl ad of all time. So there's a lot of ways that you can kind of approach that. Obviously, hashtags, the day after review, In the past, when I was doing reviews the next day, like I would start a Facebook chat live and then kind of like have that ongoing discussion with like a focus group during the Super Bowl to get people's feedback as to what they think. Yeah. All right.
A lot of stuff. Do a reel. Reels are big right now on Insta. They're hot, right? Create a fun reel. Do your predictions. Something. Or put all your menu items, right? Super Bowl. Start running the reels on your Super Bowl menu. What to make at home. Grocery stores, right? What to order out. I don't know. There's a ton of different things, but definitely do something. Take advantage of it.
All right.
They'll see Do You Live in the Super Bowl commercial one day. I'm sorry.
Actually, yeah, no, I think it would. I think it would be fun to wait. You know, like I said, if it was 10% of my marketing budget, I'd throw it at it and see what happens. I don't know that Do You Live would ever make that appearance during the Super Bowl. I don't even know that I can sponsor a little league team because of the name. Like people would be like
Doyo.
What we play? Who do we play tonight? Like it'd be so annoying. Like it would be so annoying to like every time like somebody's like, "Oh, who do we play tonight?" They're like, "I don't know who we play tonight." Like I don't even and like what is it? And then like, so maybe that's a good thing, but yeah,
I don't know.
All right.
Know.
Well, that's all I got.
All right. Well, then I will catch you next Wednesday.
Catch you next Wednesday.
12 o'clock. I know we started a little bit late today, but we have to be on time next week. So 12 o'clock. And thanks everybody for joining in. If you've got a topic you want us to talk about, let us know. Drop it in the comments. Message us. Follow us. Whatever you need to do. And it's fun. It's a good time. So enjoy the rest of your week. And thanks, Dennis.
Thank you, Deanna. We'll see you guys. Be good. Who do you want to win?
Oh, I don't know. Tampa.
I'm going for Tampa too.
Yeah, definitely. It's really cool being in Florida right now with all that happening. Even though we're a little bit more north of that, but yeah, it's kind of cool. I'm excited for Tampa. So we'll see. Yeah, but definitely.
All right, cool. Be good. Be safe. We'll talk to you soon. Bye, Deanna.
Bye.